welcome. I'm the host here, Rahul. I've been doing this podcast series for bringing out understanding of data, analytics, AI, especially AI now, to just uncover and unlock some of the understanding of AI and use cases of AI. Today we have with us Anuja, who's the CEO of Intech Systems, a very accomplished leader in the tech space, women leader in the tech space, and specifically she has done a lot of work in AI in manufacturing, which is a very, very niche, interesting area that is up and coming, and for us here, it's actually a very, very interesting area. Thank you for joining us.
Most welcome. Pleasure being here today.
Anuja, I know you've done a lot of interesting work. Your journey started as a coder, as a person who codes. Then you added a lot of strategic vision, strategic thinking, leadership qualities to build this company from where it was a few years back into what it is now, which is a pretty big global player. Walk us through your journey. That is going to be very interesting. How did you make different decisions through the journey, and just what started as a coding job transitioned into this role?
I think first I would say that my family has been a key influencer in my journey, especially in tech. My dad had an IT company, so I was fortunate to get exposure into the world of computer at a very early age. I think the first year of college itself, I had a personal computer with a dial-up internet in my room, which enabled me to get exposure to not only the world of computers but to internet. And that's when the journey and the excitement started, because suddenly you could get information right in your fingertips. So when I went to the US, I did my MBA with management information systems, and obviously, as Rahul said, I had a background with coding, but what in fact excited more was to help other people understand the power of technology. I enjoyed creating some things through technology. So a lot of the projects I did when I was in graduate school was creating products out of technology. And I liked doing the market research. I enjoyed conversing with different consumers as to what they are looking in a product. And that's how the journey started for me. So I got a job in Silicon Valley, and that was kind of the birth of the .com in back in 2000. And I think that is when I kind of said that I enjoy the rush of technology. It is so fast-paced. Every day you're learning something new, you're creating something new, and the thrill of something that you create being utilized and used by somebody, that absolutely gave me the joy. So I think that's how my journey started in technology world. Then when I moved back to India, I joined the family business. It was a small 30-person company then. We wanted to do something more with technology, and that is where we took Intech, which was a local company with, as I said, 30-40 people, and now we are a global IT company. We have more than 350 plus professionals. We're doing a lot more, not only in the ERP, CRM, regular business applications. We were moving fast into cloud, into analytics, because that is what the today's companies they need. Correct.
So very, very interesting journey. Now let's unlock that journey a little bit, which will be interesting, because I'm sure from 30 to 350 there are a lot of different things that happen, and you are aware of all these different trends that you probably use to your advantage, right? I know one of the trends that in today's world we think about, especially in manufacturing, is What is the difference between automation and AI?
So rightly said, I think even AI, in its very traditional sense, has been there since 1950s or 60s. So AI, machine learning was always there. What generative AI has done is put more intelligence into the system. And today, when ChatGPT was launched, it was a UI first time in front of an AI system. So when you look at any manufacturing companies, robotics, always was there, right? So the traditional robots, right? Those were very simple. You can do a simple task, which is a very repetitive thing. Manufacturing companies wanted efficiency. That is the core thing, right? Everybody wants efficiencies to be there in a company. But today with AI, it has gone a step further where thinking, rationalizing, everything is now inbuilt. So if I have to give a very simple example, right? You would have a robot and, the robot would be trained and it would be a very simple logic, pick up a finished good from or, packet it, right? You take something, you take this from place A to place B. And that the robot could do very efficiently. You didn't need a person for that, right? But what happens if that part was missing something? The thinking wasn't there. Now what AI has done is suddenly, and this has taken a lot of transition, because now you have sensors, you can detect with cameras, you can detect. So if there is a machine out there, it doesn't have a part, a sensor can suddenly see what something is missing. The robot can then say, okay, now I don't need to pick up this thing because something is missing. So that logic is then programmed in. And then it also has the rational thinking, is that if part A is not there, what are the other parts which I can replace for the machine to work. So then it goes and looks after alternate parts that you can replace that with, form a machine and make it programmable. So there with complex models, you can figure out what parts are now available to replace what is already there and create something which was not even existing. And this was something, a human would rationalize and think, because they would, see, think and hear. But that is what Gen AI is now doing in manufacturing companies.
Because you're essentially talking like a human, but you're saying that the robot is doing everything.
Yeah.
How do you, what do you need to program something that can do all these complex tasks? What are the important elements of making this come to life?
So I think, as I said, what is kind of AI? AI is now kind of basically simulating what humans are thinking and rationalizing. I think in a very simple terms, in terms of Gen AI. When you are thinking of the base, and when any company comes to us and says, we want to start on the AI journey. First of all, what we say is AI doesn't work if you don't have digital data. If you don't have data, you can't program anything. We were born with, it has, we have studied, so we have intelligence, right? How will the AI know? So AI fails if a company doesn't have any digital data. So the base foundation is for any AI to work is data. And that is where companies today are investing very heavily, because they have data, but it is basically in either manual papers or in people's mind. And so that is the documentation and the precision with which what they're doing needs to be there. The second is processes. If any company doesn't have a process, you can't train anybody, even a human being, right, to do something. So with any foundation, both data and processes are fundamental. And then lastly comes the people. And in many of the AI projects we do, if the people don't have the right mindset to be trained and to be leveraging AI, then the AI projects will fail. So fundamentally, I think if you have a, this is what we said, if you want to have a successful blueprint for success, you need to have the foundation layer of data, processes, and the people. So I think these are the fundamental base level things a company will need to invest in, and then the AI journey can be more fruitful.
So this is interesting, right? You need data, you need an understanding of the processes, and then the people's mindset. My question is, give us an example, like make it real for us. I know you work with a lot of organizations, locally in Ahmedabad and globally, but one simple example where you might have taken a company through this journey, and where did you start, what happened, and what were some of the interesting outcomes?
Fundamentally, as I said before, so in tech we were a ERP company. So what an enterprise resource planning does is for manufacturing companies is help to operationalize and make the whole supply chain from end to end, right? From the time a company gets an order to the time it gets fulfilled. What are the steps in terms of what is the inventory, what is the available raw materials, etc. The entire thing is managed through an ERP software. Now, one such company, it's Tata Refractories, they are on the east of India. So the journey that they said is, yes, I have an ERP software. How can we further enhance it? One of the problems we've solved for them is when they're doing purchasing, right? They already know what materials to procure. So when they're doing raw materials procurement, and that's basically of metals, and their pricing is quite volatile. So there used to be people who used to go to different websites, collate information about the pricing trends, run analytics on top of it, and then present to the management. And that whole process took them, a week to 10 days for them to gather the data, collate it, run analytics, and then present is like, here is how the procurement decisions for raw materials should be taken for the order that we have received. So what took them probably a week or 10 days, we have deployed an AI agent which can go through different websites, get that data instantly, run analytics on top of it, and recommend the best pricing for different raw materials, and this is happening in hours. So it's the same process, 10 days, and something, if you take a decision instantly in a day versus waiting for 10 days for the market again to change, that is the amount of savings the company is getting today. And I think the journey doesn't start here. In different companies, we have done different things. So in supply chain only, and this is just one use case in manufacturing, is that you want to predict the sales trends, right? Because if you have foresight into what your order book is, then suddenly you can start better planning for not only what parts to manufacture early on, so you can deliver the goods well in time. So the entire demand planning can be automated. Then also on the inventory side, you can kind of see what inventory is available, what to prioritize in terms of making the production planning. So for another gold and diamond company, we have done that, is that we are running analytics based on the order book on what they can prioritize in terms of production to deliver the right goods at the right time to the right customer. So Malabar Gold is an example where I've done pre-production planning, TRL. So as I said, it's Tata Refractories on the East Coast. So these are actual companies leveraging AI in India today.
That makes a lot of sense, and you've probably driven a ton of value for them that continues.
And what is more complex is, each company just doesn't look at the vendor in terms of pricing. There are different criteria, right? What are the payment terms? What is their past history of their quality? Now with sustainability, they have different marks that they have. So every vendor itself, and I'm putting it simple, when you are buying a simple shirt, you're just not looking at a shirt, you're looking at the color, the material, the size. So there are so many parameters. Similarly, a simple vendor will have several parameters all being tracked and being analyzed to give them a scoring and making it easy for the procurement managers.
Yeah, because we only get the end result of what they have done, and we are probably getting the price benefit of it. Very interesting examples. I think these were quite fascinating to see that while Amazon is doing it at a global scale, we are putting these experiences in the hands of our local factories and making it happen for them, right? So through this, I'm going to switch a little bit. There is the technical part, but then there is understanding the business process. While I can understand that you can write a code, but what is the understanding of business process? How important is that? How important is understanding people part of this?
I think there's so much talk about AI taking up jobs, and what's going to happen. It's all going to be doom and gloom tomorrow, right? And I think every one of us, we've passed through this area with calculators and even an Excel coming, and there are apprehensions. McKinsey and everybody talks about it, is a firm which is called the Frontier Firm, and you should Google that whole concept, is that these companies are going to be the companies which kind of coexist with AI. So while AI is going to be used to speed up the work that you're doing, right? It is going to free up your time to make more strategic decisions. I think humans, we are born with that creativity. We are born with things that you can, rationalize and create something new, and that is where you have to use AI to, help you in this journey by saying these are mundane tasks which you can give to AI. They can do it much faster, freeing up my time to do a lot more strategic and creative things. So everybody will need to get upskilled, and that is the opportunity that lies for everyone to learn AI. Because if you don't learn AI, yes, your job will be replaced. What we talk about, so we ourselves hire a lot of young people, and the way I think about it is kind of a T-shaped. So when I talk about manufacturing, even at our company, the people we hire, we tell them you can't build something if you don't know a process. So that domain experience is absolutely necessary. You have to go into a shop floor and see how the shop floor is functioning, because if you don't understand, you cannot code what is going to be helping them. So domain specific information will never go away, and that is going to be a very key in terms of you differentiating yourself from the other. Because if there is somebody who's hiring you, if they are talking to you in one language, is about shop floor, you need to understand what happens there. If you don't understand that fundamentally, you can't give a solution to them. You have to learn, and these are some of the things which are in the breadth, is that you have to learn how to talk with people, to have to understand what is happening. see how you can improve different things. So those things are absolutely necessary.
This is a very insightful conversation, right? You have essentially unlocked the, for the TikTok and the Instagram generation, what is actually important is to talk to people and learn how to communicate, learn how to interact, which like you said, we've recently talked about what's the job of the future, what's going to happen in 4 years, and can you predict what jobs will be available? And that's a question that is quite scary to think about, given how much AI is doing today, right?
Yeah.
It is essentially what Anuja talked about, right, which is the frontier firm. Microsoft is essentially saying, in today's world, only 20% of the workforce is necessary. 80% will be eliminated. Now, when you think about that, and when you put that in perspective, not only are tomorrow's job unknown, but today, in the next 5 years, about 80% of jobs will be different. So what do you prepare for?
Learn to be curious. I think learning doesn't stop. I think one fundamental thing everybody has to learn is to be curious, be hungry to keep on learning. Especially if you're in tech, the moment you stop learning, that is when you'll get eliminated. So learning doesn't stop. Being curious as to how to use this technology for the use of betterment, that cannot stop. And I think if I had to give these two things, is to always be hungry to keep learning, because it is a continuous journey. The whole era has changed. The technology, not only in AI, but in all aspects, it is changing so fast. You look in biotech, in finance, every field, it's changing so fast. So the moment you get stagnant and stop learning and stop being curious as to how to be better than what you were yesterday, that is when you will get eliminated.
All these different technologies, you are assuming everybody is learning that, but learn to learn. And that is the most important part of this, right? How do you personally stay up to speed? What do you do?
I have two answers. One is I also love to read and keep up. For us, it's going to different conferences, talking to some of the, top leaders. The second is, frankly, hire smart people. I think as a CEO and as a leader, it's necessary for me to be ahead of the curve, but I cannot do everything. And that's the realization that has come to me, is like, I can't be a coder and run a business and do everything. So I have to rely on hiring smart people, trusting them, giving them the opportunities. So my job as a CEO is to give people different opportunities and direction. The main thing is the direction, because they need to know where to put their energy in and the focus. So at Intech, we have, in IT, everybody loves 5 days, but we have made at least one Saturday compulsory, which is just a training day. We encourage everybody to just learn and give different certification exam. We have a whole learning and development path for them. We invest in doing a lot of R&D and POCs, because AI is so new. So we have to keep on experimenting. So we would have a brainstorming discussion on different use cases which we can give to companies. And before taking to the companies, we ourselves invest in making a prototype which we can go. So a lot of R&D learning goes at the back end. And we empower the people to have this, and that is very important, because we have to give that creativity, freedom to the people to share different use cases, to experiment, to and more and less, I've been frustrated a lot of times because we go down a path, by the time you learn technology, you identify a use case, you prototype it, it becomes, it's a 3 to 6 months depending on, what you're doing. And when you come at the 6 months, the technology platform has changed. And that is the era we live in. So it is just continuous innovation.
That is very, very super interesting because learning fast, breaking fast, and then continuously innovating is the new theme where you can't wait for something to develop for 1 year, 5 years, as it used to be in the past. What do you think is going to happen in 5 years? What's the trend? What's your future prediction?
I think 5 years, I can't even predict. I would say in technology, maybe I can predict up to 2 years. And in 2 years, as I said, we've started on this journey where I'm sure a lot of you are using ChatGPT. It's very simple now to create images or content and things like that. But the future is kind of where it is not just assisting, the more autonomous agent where it can do an end-to-end task without human intervention is something that is going to be a reality. I think that is the key for the next 2 years, is the journey from just an assisted AI where it's helping you just create, maybe a image or a post or something, to then kind of actual use cases in different industries utilizing it, which is completely autonomous. That is, I think, where the whole fundamental is going.
It's scary and exciting at the same time.
Yes.
Of what will happen in 2 years. I think this was very, very interesting. We started with where you started your journey, coding simple things with the computer that I remember you had to dial in internet. I don't know if anybody here remembers the sound of that dial-in computer. There was a static that would happen, and then you would feel like, all right, I've accomplished my job, connected to the internet. To where we are today, where you're like, internet is not even a thing. I mean, we are already connected, and we have AI agents doing thinking for us. They are actually moving from thinking about not just the Amazon experience, but how your procurement, manufacturing facilities work, to a diamond factory. I mean, this was very fascinating, and more importantly, what skills and tools everybody here needs to learn and pick up, because it's not just about technology and learning how to write the best model. It's also about interactions. It's also about learning and continuous learning. It's also about evolving yourself, and we can only see 2 years from now. Who knows what's going to happen 5 years from now. So this was very, very interesting. I hope everybody enjoyed this discussion. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for making it.
Yes.